Live. That's all right. Oh, actually looks all right today.
Great colour.
Yeah.
How does it sound?
How does it sound? Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
you hear
Please
the
let
pop-up
us
bottle?
know. You see, this is the colouring I wanted for Jazz Club.
Yeah. Oh, it's one of the things my friends always gets on at me saying, your lighting looks like garbage on the live stream.
Oh, well, sorry.
You know,
Hope you're watching.
Your audio is like garbage on the live stream because we can't hear you. Oh, we hear you perfectly.
Hooray.
There we go. Nils, most lovely Patreon member, letting us know that we're all heard.
Right. You join us at the end of a rough day.
Yeah, we got 32 people on already.
I know.
Okay.
We should probably say something of meaning. Good evening.
Good evening. You join us on a day of immense frustration. A frustration we've not had since the other channel got taken down.
Yes.
So basically we uploaded a video yesterday.
Day before yesterday.
On Sunday. I thought one mic is out.
One mic is out.
One mic is out.
How can you tell?
Don't know.
Which one?
Which one?
Well, mine's fine.
I will check.
It's green anyway. Okay. Okay, we'll try and sort that.
No, they're both doing stuff. Or they are at least now.
Maybe that was an April Fool.
Maybe it was.
Okay. They noticed a small commotion.
Yes, so we uploaded our video of Island of Lost Souls, and today NBC Universal decided to block it worldwide. So that's a big old pain in the ass. So
just as it was proving to be probably our most successful release for a few years now. So something of a it's been a rough few years, and I hadn't really felt it until it felt like we were coming out of it.
Yes.
And
yeah, just as the video was picking up steam, it just blocked.
And that's the thing. Even if we get it back up again, it's very hard to believe it will get up that head of steam again. And getting it back up again is going to be an effort just to begin with.
And we don't know if getting it back up again, it will just get blocked again. Because obviously, when you upload something, YouTube will do its checks and it will say it's okay. And in this case, it said it was okay. And then 2 days later, Universal, the things that they are, decided no. So so that's the situation with that. I'm going to re-edit it. It will probably have some sort of sacrifices in order to get it to pass, but we have uploaded the original version to both our Patreon channel and to the YouTube members channel, which I think they're like about $2 each on the lowest level. And that really helps us out more than anything else. So if you desperately want to see it, you do get loads of content there as well. So,
or theoretically, if you just want to see it, you could pay $2 and then quit straight away.
You could
watch it.
Yes, and both of them.
I mean, there is other stuff on there, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, so you could regard it as just a $2 charge to see one fantastic video.
Yeah.
But
so,
it was really hard to sort of like bring ourselves back up and actually do some work this afternoon. or I found it very hard.
Yeah, we were really enthusiastic this morning, and that was like a bit of a gut punch.
It is. I've been up since 4:30, so I'm feeling it quite a lot at this point. I'm feeling quite emotional about the whole thing.
But ultimately, we shot another 6 reviews today. Tomorrow, we're shooting our special on the Reptile and
Plague of the Zombies, the so-called Cornish duo from Hammer films that went absolutely nowhere near Cornwall because it's Hammer.
And
I love the fact that they didn't even have a stock shot of the sea in it. Nothing.
And we've done a lot of Hammer videos, and I will say, by and large, we've not had a single copyright on them except for.
You are tempting fate. Something chronic.
What I am saying is they are a good studio who knows full well what a review does to sales. So good on you, Hammer. Maybe send us some of your DVDs to review. I'm buying them at the moment, but maybe you want to send them to us for free.
You
We've
want
got
to see the latest one?
latest one we've got. It's in the middle
It's
there.
an extraordinarily large release.
It's
In terms of you've got a huge booklet in
it's
there,
in focus.
all sorts of fantastic content for the Four-Sided Triangle, which is not a prominent Hammer film at all. It's Hammer from before they were Hammer Horror, but it's a science fiction film directed by Terence Fisher, who directed most of the Hammer classics. So it's a really interesting one, and we'll have a review of that coming out shortly.
Yes, might even be this week.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was going to do one of the other Island of Dr. Moreau ones, but I don't really see the point.
We might check to see who owns it.
Well, more at the bottom, I'm not promoting anything.
So, oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll definitely hold off on that. So that's that.
Yes.
And we also like, oh, what's because every month basically it's the Hammer 60th anniversary. So every month they're doing a really nice box set like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So they did Captain Kronos first of all, stellar set,
Brilliant stuff. Great film.
They did this, which we're like, why don't they do that? And then the next film they're doing is
Shatter,
which is one of their Shaw brother co-pros.
Yeah,
and
the short-lived and pretty disastrous co-production history they have with the Shaw brothers, and it's a sort of a James Bond type thing,
martial arts mob.
Yeah,
film.
It's a really bad film with Peter Cushing showing up gamely to fill out the numbers, and
so
oh boy,
we're in
weird choice.
We're in two minds about whether we buy that one or not.
Yeah,
the completists in us say yes. We don't know. Maybe it will work as a bad movie review.
Maybe.
But so that's that.
Yeah.
Then we've also got a review of
this box set. If you can see that, this is Yojimbo and Sanjuro from Akira Kurosawa from the BFI. So I was just looking for. I knew who directed it. I just wasn't sure. Trivia question. There are obviously Kurosawa directed the film and the sequel. What's the other sequel that Kurosawa? The other ones that he did that was original and sequel.
I don't know.
No, I'm going to forget the bloody name now. Sanshiro Sugata. So his first and maybe his second or third film.
So if you're in America, Criterion released the 4K and they've got slightly different special features on it. And then we've got the following week, we have another DVD review of Man Bites Dog.
Which we're not convinced we asked for.
Yeah, the imprint sends us stuff and I request stuff and they don't seem to send the stuff I asked for. They send us other stuff.
Do you think there's someone who did request Man Bites Dog?
That's what I wonder.
Why the hell have I got this horror film to review? I don't do that.
Because I'm sure like this month we requested the Chinese or Japanese sex trilogy. A ghost one.
Erotic ghost story?
Yes. Something like that. And we didn't get it.
Okay. So I'm watching Man Bites Dog rather than 3 erotic ghost stories.
Which, knowing you and you like a short film.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, it does save me some time. Should we look at some questions?
Oh, my God.
The comments have been coming thick and fast. We've been absolutely ignoring them, so we can basically rant about the fact that, like I said, this has been a rough day.
Yes.
So I'm sure you'll all bear with us, but we will get to some of the questions now.
Yes.
We won't get to the questions now because he's sitting next to them. Apparently, has
what
more
I'll
to
also say, one of the things we're going to be doing is like trying to ramp up the quality, and so we're going to be re-releasing some of our specials, special editionized for the new era. So
you'll want to watch them again.
Something to look out for. Yes. Okay. Can hear us perfectly. Good. What gives you? You say something till I find a question.
Okay, well, I feel like this is what we could have been.
Okay, will we review Night of the Hunter?
Yeah, I mean that's if it's streaming somewhere. I wonder if that's on BFI, probably a movie or something. I mean, fantastic film. Would have been another one, a good one to do in conjunction with Island of Lost Souls. Damn it,
yes.
Because of Charles Lawton, obviously. But yeah, I think that's one we could easily do.
Deep Fried Hamsters, have we done a review of April Fool's Day? We did on April Fool's Day last year. So go check it out.
My idea, by the way, was to advertise this live streaming and then just not do it. I'm sorry we didn't follow through with that in a way.
Love the Voodoo Island one. Saw the video.
Thank you.
Lots of praise for it. Would you consider covering West German Dr. Mabuse? Or Dr. Mabuse?
It's you were right
Oh,
first time.
I thought that was.
Yeah,
we
did a sort of. We had a look at that's the first of the Dr. Mabuse films as part of a review of a chair that someone sent us to do a review of. Basically, there was an idea that we got this sent a free sample by a company that makes sort of like deluxe cinema chairs or home cinema chairs, and I spent 3 hours in it watching Dr. Mabuse Der Spieler.
Yes,
just to see
the logic being it's a good film. It's not a great film, and does the couch get you through it?
Yeah, I mean it's a very long film. Was the real thing there.
That was a great gimmick for that.
Yeah, it was. But it probably didn't cover a great deal about the film. We might cover them in more detail at some point.
It was mainly like, now that's a chair. That's a chair. I remember that bit of the review. Speaking of how about Quatermass? Yes, we're going to do Quatermass one. I think probably later this year. It'll be good since it's 60th anniversary.
Okay.
And I've got all the films.
Maybe we should just do Hammer specials all this year.
Do you know what we're not going to do now? Is Creature from the Black Lagoon, because Universal are a bunch of C's. So those are people who wanted that. Tough. That's going right on the back burner. Cool. What have we got next?
It's jumped ahead.
Yes. What characteristics make a film so bad it's good?
I have no idea. I think if they're bad, they're bad. I think generally, if you enjoy it, the thing that makes a film just bad is boring. If you can enjoy a film, then there's something in it. So I guess I don't think that there are many films that are legitimately so bad they're good, but something like Plan 9 you can at least enjoy.
Mm-hmm. I think, there's ones that a bad movie is a boring movie. An enjoyable bad movie, it's got to have energy. It's got to have some sort of mental vision.
Cannon's Hercules.
Yes, Cannon's Hercules.
We have a review of Cannon's Hercules coming out because you can watch it on Amazon for free at the moment. Provided you have Amazon, you don't have to pay extra, is what I mean. But and that is a terrible, terrible film. But you can't say it's boring, and you never know what's going to happen next. Much as I think the scriptwriter did not.
No, he would just press play on Clash of the Titans and went, "Yep, that bit." And then he pressed play on his copy of Star Wars and went, "Yep, that bit."
No, he put several other fantasy films on at the same time. Then did a line of coke and then started typing.
And then tried to remember what he'd seen.
There's that show Drunk History, isn't there, where they get celebrities to explain historical events while drunk. It's like he was asked to explain Clash of the Titans while drunk, and kept getting the name wrong and said Hercules rather than Perseus.
Have we done any of the Japanese Frankenstein kaiju movies? We've done more of the gargantuans, and there's the other one we have.
Frankenstein Conquers the World. Yes, so the first of them, I think I'm right in saying.
Yes. Are there any more? King Kong v Godzilla was supposed to be Frankenstein.
Yeah, I don't know if there are any other Frankenstein ones.
What is your favourite Terry Pratchett novel?
Ooh. I've got a few. I mean, Guards is wonderful. I love the Witches ones. The Weird Sisters, and I think his best sort of like novel is Night Watch.
Big thank you to Almost Ready Movie for your $4 donation and your request to review Megaropolis.
Oh, that's
it's too recent. Although it is, when we talk about a good bad movie, that is it. It's like, it's not boring.
Really?
It's fucking insane.
Isn't it just a bad movie? I haven't seen it.
It's insane, but it's got it's a vision behind it, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's a scene in the movie. Yes. So go back to the club. That's the meme from the movie. I was so disappointed.
All the people defending it is
I was so disappointed when I saw it because I went to go see it in the IMAX thinking that they would have it where a member of the audience talks to the screen.
Right.
There's that, and some screenings it had it, and they didn't have it in the screening that I saw. And I always wondered, who was it going to be? Is it just going to be like the pimply kid from in The Simpsons? Go, I gotta lie.
There was an interview in Sight and Sound when it came out with Francis Ford Coppola, and I'm just the interview. I'm amazed the interviewer could conduct the interview with his head inside Coppola's backside like that. It's really impressive.
Any thoughts on Spike Lee's High Low remake?
No.
Cool. Didn't think so.
Sorry.
Conan the Destroyer review. Maybe a bad movie. We did
Conan the Barbarian. Conan the Destroyer is nowhere near as good.
Yeah, but also probably not worth doing as a bad movie.
No.
Either. So it's sort of in that realm. A Basil Rathbone anthology.
Ooh. Anthology?
Yes.
Another
$2. Another $2 for Megaropolis review. Okay. If the donations get up to what price? I could put a goal here.
We will review. Is Megaropolis streaming anywhere? Are we gonna have to buy?
No, we're gonna have to buy it.
Is it even available yet?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
What's the price for Megaropolis?
I tend to sell myself quite cheaply.
$50. $50 of donations will do
specifically
Megaropolis.
for Megaropolis.
Yeah, you have to say Megaropolis in your donation.
And we will review
We've
Megaropolis.
We got $10 for Basil Rathbone.
What? Just are you bidding on it? Is that for like a retrospective?
Joe Mama bids $10 for Basil Rathbone. That seems like that would be a lot more work.
That would be a lot more work.
So,
I do think that we will do some of the Sherlock Holmes ones for streaming at some point.
Yes.
I keep meaning to check. I think Hound of the Baskervilles was the first one, and that would be a thing to do. And we'll do that one. If it goes well, then we'll do more.
I wanted to do Peter Cushing's Sherlock Holmes one, to do all of his.
I'm thinking about. I've already thought about what I want to do for my Patreon exclusive series next year, and I'm thinking something Sherlock Holmes related.
Ooh,
because he is the most played character in Western.
Oh, that's a
cinema. So I thought that would be cool.
That's a bold one. Yeah. So those of you who don't know, if you're a patron or a YouTube member, at the very bottom level, the $2 level,
$2 a month,
you can still watch the Island of Lost Souls review. But Robin also does a series every week of the year. This year, it's 50 weeks of Boris Karloff horror films.
When he says every week of the year, I've narrowed it to 50 weeks out of 52 because everybody deserves 2 weeks off.
Yes.
Plus
Boris Karloff only made 50 horror films.
Well, it depends which ones you count. To be honest, I made my initial list, and now I'm looking at other ones and thinking, well, that's kind of on the borderline. So now I have one of the last weeks of the year. I'll be doing a sort of like borderline horror films. So the borderline horror films of Boris Karloff. And so I'll crash through several of those. But yeah, so up there at the moment is Voodoo Island. Coming up next week, I can't remember what I said I'd be doing this week. But it was a good one to follow Voodoo Island. I know that.
Cool.
I think it was one of the Columbia ones.
Cool. So last year you did 50
weeks of Roger Corman.
Year before that was,
I think that was Kurosawa.
Year before that it was
silent films.
Year before that was
the first one. That was 52 weeks of Alfred Hitchcock, and that was 52 weeks.
He
made 52 films.
I'm a bit slow getting them all up onto YouTube members.
We had a crash where they were all lost. So,
but I think they are all up if you join Patreon. So they will get up on YouTube membership at some point. But
I don't think all of the Kurosawa ones are up.
No,
because I couldn't find Yoshimbo.
No.
So I thought I would save myself some research.
Okay, let's find out where we were. So the video was excellent. Sorry if I missed your question, but I'm speeding through.
Sorry, we're doing our best here. There's an awful lot of questions, and we ramble, as you know. Yeah. We hope that you enjoy the rambling as part of this whole process.
With booze. A favorite Italian giallo. Not our specialty.
Not our specialty, no. There was one, Eye in the Labyrinth, just as like a sort of a quirky choice, because that's one we did for streaming, and I thought it was really cool. I liked that a lot. It was a bit mad, and it was sort of what you want from Jallo.
Just lost Richard Chamberlain. Any favourite films of his?
Not so much favourite film. I mean, he's very good in the Three Musketeers films, of course, but I sort of mainly remember him for Shogun. Did you ever see that series? The original,
No.
because he played the pilot Blackthorn in that. And he's very good in that. And I remember my parents, who may or may not be watching.
I've not seen them yet.
I've not, yeah. I forgot to tell them that we were doing this, so maybe that's the reason. But yeah, they have been fans of the book and thought that he was going to be quite bad casting, and then they watched it and thought, no, actually, he's great in this. And Toshiro Mifune is in that as well, if I remember rightly, playing
cool.
the character based on Tokugawa Ieyasu.
Speaking of canon, will you review their Alan Quatermain movies?
I wouldn't rule it out, but they're not. I mean, there's so many. I think there are many worse canon films.
I like this. My girlfriend has commented here. You know it's my girlfriend because she's put my name, and most people don't know my name.
Okay.
And
plus, her name.
Plus her name.
That's really the giveaway.
Based on Graham's T-shirt. Oops, pulled my mic off. Favorite Tim Burton movie.
Ooh, favorite Tim Burton movie. Gosh.
And why is it Planet of the Apes?
I'm struggling now. I really love Tim Burton's movies. I'm really struggling to choose a favourite.
Oh, by the way,
Beetlejuice is such fun.
Just a quick update. Casey has dropped in another £2 from Megaropolis. Megaropolis is now. I've got to do currency conversions. It's not there yet.
Did we say 50 quid or $50?
Well, we did say $50.
Whichever is the greater. Damn it. Now I feel like we have sold it too cheap.
Oh no, the dollar's crashing as we speak.
I'm sure the pound will have its time.
Very annoying because we make a lot of our money in dollars. It was good when the dollar was
at least
high.
I'm not ghosting at the moment.
Yeah. What did you say?
You know what? I'm going to go with Sleepy Hollow.
Oh,
I mean, that's his Hammer film.
Yes,
and it's one I saw in the cinema and with my friend Helen. I'm trying to think if that was that wouldn't have been with and there's just something I like the aesthetic. I like it. I love Christina Ricci, although it's a very un-Christina Ricci role. I think that it's a good balance between Johnny Depp doing what he does now, which is a little bit too much Johnny Depp,
yes,
and being a proper actor, and it's sort of like walking a good line there. And mainly, it's the aesthetic of that. I really love it.
Yes.
So yeah, I am going. That's my decision.
That's a good shout, and it's got a lot of the Star Wars cast in it.
Yes, it has a lot of the Star Wars cast. It's got Christopher Lee, Ian McDermott. The Headless Horseman is Darth Maul, Ray Park. I was going to say, I was thinking Christopher Walken, but yeah. Remember him being in Star Wars?
Yes. So that is that. When you review This Island Earth and the Strange Importance.
I can't watch This Island Earth without thinking about MST3Ks. That's the first MST3K one I saw. And that's all I can ever hear when I watch This Island Earth.
Tony Todd also died recently. Any chance of a Candyman special? It's not impossible. It's just way down on the list.
Yeah, it's not really my era of horror, if I'm honest. Basically, my era of horror is stuff that was made before I was born, which is kind of random, I know, but it's where I'm most comfortable.
50 Weeks of Sherlock Holmes sold.
Thank you. Is that from someone who's already a Patreon supporter? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Damn, I thought we'd made some money.
Potential actor retrospectives: Herbert Long, Anton Driftin, Nigel Green.
Okay,
cool.
I will bet we will bear all those in mind. I know who all of them are.
Thoughts on the Karloff anthology series Thriller?
I've not watched it, so I don't have any
thoughts.
Profound thoughts, I'm afraid. I'm watching his movies at the moment.
Because I had the same ones, T-Rex and Triceratops. Your niece holds up one in the science advisor scenes. Are they yours?
Yes, they were ones that my brother. I think that one specifically was my brother's. But as long as the science advisor's been mentioned, I'm going to pimp the merch.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Available on TeePublic.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've just changed their name though, so
How irritating!
I've got to find out if I've got to change all the links.
Anyway,
they said something about a 1st of April deadline.
And completely unrelated to that, there is also one with our Mexican wrestling advisor, the Lucha Libre advisor.
Yeah.
But for some reason, people connect those two. I don't know
why. Doesn't make sense.
No.
Edward, another great Tim Burton one. I really like Edward.
Yes. If I thought of that first, I might say I'm going to stick with I was going to say Sweeney Todd there, but no.
No, yeah,
it's another good one.
Yeah, Sweeney Todd. But Beetlejuice.
I missed the chance to be in Sweeney Todd because I was busy directing something else. But some friends of mine are in it.
Shame.
And do you know what that company is doing? Is doing as their next musical, the one I will be able to audition for?
Something rubbish.
Legally Blonde. And then next year, Bake Off the musical.
I saw
for the
that.
love of. Is it good?
It's all right, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally just like a musical version of the TV series.
Well, if it wasn't, then it would be a really misleading title.
Like you've got the contestants and they go through, and it's the same sort of.
I'm just saying, it feels like they're anticipating losing so much money on Sweeney Todd that they feel like they need to do these silly ones, and I feel they could at least do something more. I don't know. None of them are watching, so. I'll find out that someone from Trowbridge Musical Theatre is watching this, and I'll be blacklisted from their shows.
Hold on, hold the phone. There's another donation. 10 quid not to review Megaropolis.
Oh, no, it's back down to
minus. I'm going to be generous. It's -$2 now.
Wow, the dollar really has tanked.
Yes.
So I didn't realise it was that bad.
So.
Oh dear. Well,
those
sorry.
Those who want Megaropolis, you better start. Speaking up.
We should have thought of this years ago.
Son of Hoichi. From yes,
that film.
That film that we wanted to review. We've not done.
Yeah. That's another. That's an absolutely extraordinary.
That's one totally
film
that we would do for way less than $50.
Might even do that just because it's kind of my job.
Favorite 70s samurai cinema.
Favorite 70s samurai cinema.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Can you go Ran? Is Ran 70s?
No.
Is it not?
No. That's the 70s. Is largely Kurosawa's sort of wilderness years.
Okay.
Now that's sort of. I think Ran is 85, 86.
Oh, okay.
Quite late. I don't know. I'm sorry.
50 Weeks of Karloff. Are you going to do The Man Who Changed His Mind and Dick Tracy Meets Gruesome?
The Man Who Changed His Mind, yes. I think under a different title I've got it. Dick Tracy Meets Gruesome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
Do you see the thing with Dick Tracy that who played him in the movie?
Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty, that he still owns the rights. So if they're going to do another one, he has first refusal. But I think it was like a few years ago that deal was coming to the end. So he just made a Dick Tracy movie to keep it going. But it's just like Dick Tracy on a Zoom call. Just so he could like hold the rights. A bit of a Fantastic Four.
That's kind of childish in a way.
Yeah. Well, that's why you're not getting any other Dick Tracy movies.
Oh, well, in that case, you know what? Fair play to him. Although, I mean, it's not like Dick Tracy's an amazing film.
Love Sleepy Hollow. Yes, we also hope that Lost Souls gets posted with little edits. Any chance you would cover the Gothic horror era of Doctor Who from the Fourth Doctor's tenure?
I would love to.
That's an
interesting.
interesting.
Because they are sort of like TV versions of Hammer, sort of like sci-fi Hammer horrors. Brain of Morbius is absolutely Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Terror of Fang Rock's brilliant. The Talons of Wang Chiang is extra. Obviously, it's not totally politically safe these days, but you know, I think that's fine from another era because we do the Karloff. There's a long tradition of that, but whether we can find the right way of approaching them, I don't know.
That's quite a good way of.
They're wonderful things.
Of rather trying to do everything Doctor Who to actually go, here's a thing which is unique and interesting and suits our brand.
Yes, yeah.
Um,
And for me, they're the peak of Doctor Who. I wish they did more stuff like that, where they're just very.
Oh.
They are gothic mysteries.
Thank you very much, Major Tom, for that suggestion. Much
Robots
better.
of Death. That's taking place on a ship on a mining.
Much
thing.
better than Megaropolis. How about Fritz Lang special?
I think I'd rather cover the film than Fritz Lang. I mean, have we done anything Fritz Lang? I'm not sure we have. That feels like a gap. If we were to do another silent, Oh, M we've done, of course.
Oh yes,
We've
yes.
not done any of the silent films, I think, but something like Destiny we might cover. Metropolis, I guess we might cover.
Maybe
even Die Nibelungen.
What would do, because we tend to do a silent film a year.
Yeah.
What would be the silent film this year if we did one?
Well, you put me on the spot now. Now it's in my head. Maybe,
Now it's in it.
maybe it would be Destiny.
Right.
I don't know if that would be what would be the best one of his to do.
Oops. Jump forward.
It feels like a big hole that we haven't done one of his silent ones in a way.
Favorite zombie film?
Zombie film. I've got a memory of a goldfish, so I'm going to say Plague of the Zombies.
The last zombie film you watched?
The last zombie film I watched, because we have a special coming up.
The last zombie, there might have been last zombie film you watched might have been the dead one.
That was not my favourite. I'm also a big fan of Train to Busan.
Your channel science advisor would make a great Doctor Who.
He would be delighted to hear you say that. I wish I'd remembered. I have to remind them when this is on.
There we go. See, Son of Hodge needs to go back to the club. Have you ever done the Peter Cushing Dalek movies? We did the first one, and we've not done the second one. But
you didn't have much more to say about the second one than was
it's
in
kind
the
of
first.
all there. Wolfgang, maybe this was you somewhere else and not NJPEG. Wolfgang Amadeus Vampire Hunter. Could this idea work? I kind of feel Wolfgang Amadeus would be more of a werewolf hunter. It's in his
Any
name.
particular reason?
Because it's got wolf in his name.
Oh, I see.
Or he's part werewolf
And hunts vampires.
and hunts vampires.
Does a bit of music on the side.
Yeah. Like, do you imagine all of
that? You'd have to do it like Amadeus. Like there's like an older vampire hunter who's always thought he's the best of the vampire hunters, and then this young upstart comes in. But it turns out that he is a werewolf, and so the Salieri one has to decide: does he also kill werewolves?
Ooh, there you go. This thing writes itself.
Well, there you go. I mean, I think you've answered the question. Clearly, this works.
Just a copyright Dark Corners.
Copyright Dark Corners.
1st of April 2025. BT Dick Tracy special aired on TCM. Somebody says if you wanted to catch that. Did you watch the TV show Monkey? Great stuff. Is that Monkey Magic?
No, I think that's the as in the Journey to the West, the Chinese one.
I was thinking the Chinese one.
Oh, is it called Monkey Magic?
That's how I always called it.
Oh, okay.
With Pigsy and
yeah.
I was talking about that with my girlfriend yesterday because she'd never heard of Gem and the Holograms.
I've never heard of Gem and the Holograms.
Well, Gem and the Holograms was a fabulous cartoon about a.
There is nothing that identifies your really specific age more than the cartoons you watch, because a year either way, and you'll have had a completely different frame of reference.
So here's the premise for this show. By day, she's a record producer. By night,
I'm so paying attention.
She's a pop star in a band called Gem and the Holograms. But nobody knows they're the same person because her father willed her a holographic machine.
I wasn't paying attention.
But
I have a message from the science advisor who is watching, but doesn't seem to be able to leave messages at the moment.
Oh, okay.
But would love to be Doctor Who.
Oh no, science advisor got shadow banned.
What was it? Oh yeah, I read the abridged version of Journey to the West last year. It was a present from my brother for Christmas in 2023.
Here we go.
Thank you, Dave. If you're watching, he won't be. But
actually,
he might be.
YouTube,
he does sometimes.
From YouTube channel member Dan Doty just got Night Gallery, the complete series. Have you seen the show?
Oh no, I was thinking of a film called Night Gallery, which we reviewed.
Yes. Can't wait for you to do Karloff's Sorcerers, an underrated sci-fi. We
covered in some degree in our Witchfinder General special.
Yes. So that's that. What about Lord of the Fleas horror movie? I think
Lord of the Fleas.
I think not JPEG's just pitching films for us now.
Oh right.
Clint Eastwood was turned down. Dick Tracy. Van Helsing or Underworld? Which movie with Kate Beckinsale was your favourite?
Oh, I mean, those are not two films that I was impressed with. I think I disliked Underworld the least. Let me put that in more lucid terms. I really hated Van Helsing.
Cool. Piranha, the original or the remake films? I really like the remake because I think they got a really funny tone to it.
This is I think I'm going to side with you on that because I think my reaction is always to go with the original.
Yes.
But the fact is, it's a great advert for the fact that Joe Dante can direct, but not much else.
Yes. But I also really appreciate Piranha, the 3D sequel, because it had the title Piranha 3 Double D. And that is not a good film, but a great title for what it was aiming for.
It hit its demographic.
It nailed its demographic there. Yes. Streaming review of Something Wicked This Way Comes.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't rule it out, but
you could do like a mega cut of Robin going, no, I wouldn't rule it out, or I was going, yeah, it's on the list. We'll get to it.
In the end, you do the stuff that you're passionate about, not the stuff that everybody else is. And I think if you do it the other way around, then you're pandering, and that doesn't usually work. You end up with videos that don't have the same passion.
Yeah, that's true. This is quite interesting from Deep Fried Hamsters. How about a video of the different cuts of Blade Runner? And this is actually a really good idea because I've got the I don't think we'll end up doing it, so sorry about that. But
this is a great idea. We ain't going to do it.
It's a great idea for somebody. But so I got the Blu-ray. It's got 5 different cuts of the film.
5?
Yes. Now, who is going to sit through 5 different cuts of the same film where sometimes the edits are marginally different? I think one of them's the work print, for example.
Right.
So just like not a release cut. So you've got the 2 well-known cuts, the original and the director's cut, and then 3 others. But no one's going to sit through 5 different versions of the same film unless they were making notes and making a video out of it.
Well, that's really the problem, that how to do that as much as anything else, because unless you're watching them consecutively, that's hard to do. When we did the 2 versions of Dracula, the Universal one, then I had one version playing on my laptop and one on the TV, just because that was the easiest way to figure out where the differences were. And because otherwise you're sort of like flipping between is this the same angle? I don't remember. You have to have them going at the same time.
Gotcha.
And to see where the lines. So if you didn't have all 5 going at the same time, then I mean, it would be something for maybe more facilities than we have.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a really interesting idea. And Deep Fried Hamster, run with it. Start your own channel. I'll subscribe. To do 1,000 Eyes of Dr. Mabuse, not a silent film. Check it out.
Well, neither is Testament of Dr. Mabuse.
Yeah.
There's only one silent Mabuse film, or 2 if you split that one in half. Sorry, that sounds stupid. It is sort of like 2 parts, and it was designed to be done on consecutive nights.
I think it's better to cover his films, as Lang himself seems like he was a very unpleasant person.
That seems a fair comment.
That's all right. We got John Gilling.
Yeah, but not quite in the same realm as John Lang, as Fritz Lang. John Gilling was a bully. Fritz Lang, some people think, murdered his wife.
Oh, okay. And then we're talking about doing a little bit on what's the one we're talking about? Curtis.
Oh, Michael Curtiz.
Michael Curtiz, who basically 3 people died making Noah's Ark under his watch, and a bunch of others were seriously injured and maimed. And he went on to do Casablanca. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think directors back then, they were really hard taskmasters. I think people like Murnau stand out as being kind of a nice guy within this.
That's it. Yeah, so
terrible.
On one set, people are literally being killed in a flood, and on the other set, he's just shouting at them and beating them and his wife. So yeah,
no, Murnau stands out, is what I said.
Oh, okay.
He was kind of a nice guy. I know there was an actor, I can't remember what actor it was in Noah's Ark, who described it as mud, blood, and flood.
Yeah, so Wolfman Amadeus, somebody said. Jumping back
Wolfman
to that.
Amadeus.
Yeah.
We've got the copyright on this. You can't steal it.
He spelt it differently, though, damn him. He didn't spell Amadeus the way it's meant, so
Amadeus.
He owns it. He now owns that. Ever been CinemaCon? No. Welcome, Colleen. It's okay that you're late. Anybody remember the 1987 film Ishtar? Well-known, terrible, bad movie.
A huge flop.
But not one for us. Have you seen Shadow of the Vampire? We have reviewed it.
We have.
Go check it out. I remember we
enjoy it. Yeah.
Really enjoyed seeing that in the cinema.
Yeah, I watched it in the cinema originally in the old picture house.
Yeah. Some greetings to the science advisor. Did American Psycho really need a sequel?
Certainly not that one.
I mean, it's not. That's the thing. Like, the sequel to American Psycho is not a sequel. It was a film that was written, and then they just renamed it and tacked a scene on at the beginning.
Oh, it was that was wow.
Yes.
Can't believe they had the front to do that.
It'd be interesting. I've heard a remake is coming.
Okay.
I don't think it's one that needed.
No.
Well, we have people from Buffalo, New York.
Hello.
We've not covered any of the Gamera films.
No, keep saying we should do one for streaming.
Are you thinking of doing an episode for Jaws 50th? No, because Universal are a bunch of C's, and we'll copyright it. So we're gonna have to. They've copyrighted a lot of our Universal ones. They haven't blocked them, so we've just
until today,
and we've just let it stand. But it's certainly the idea of doing more Universal stuff now is very much on the back burner.
Yeah, which is a pain because it would have been nice to at least get the Poe one.
We have a $20 donation. Is it for Megaropolis? It's not. Do you have a title that everybody should watch right now? A film?
No, you should be watching this right now. Stick with it. But tomorrow, watch.
Do you have a title?
You're always going to sort of like say films that you love that.
Yes.
You think I'm going to go with Your Name then.
Okay. Oh yes.
I always recommend that. Or the Irish film Once, which isn't horror or anything at all. I just really love Once.
See that? I don't know if I did.
I've no interest in the stage version.
Have I seen anything particular in the cinemas this year that's jumped out as me as being really good? No, and I've watched quite a few films.
Oh, I like that. Amadeus Ex Machina. Someone's come up with a good title.
Wolfman Amadeus Ex Machina.
Yeah, I think that's overkill. Just Amadeus Ex Machina.
From Colleen, I'm still hoping you'll review House of Dark Shadows. Maybe.
Right,
back up to these ones. Love Will Walk Zombie, Big Scar.
I think we've gone through those ones.
Those ones. I've been CinemaCon. Ishtar. Sorry if I'm skipping over your questions. I'm just trying to find where we're up to. Labyrinth or Dark Crystal?
Labyrinth, I think.
Yes.
I think. I really admire the ambition of Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I've ever got over being traumatized by it as a child.
Did you watch the new TV series of Dark Crystal?
I tried, but I couldn't get past the first episode.
Yeah.
I thought that was a waste. That could have been brilliant. What the hell were they doing?
Yeah, it's just a shame. Better Dracula of these two, Jack Palance or Louis Jourdan?
Louis Jourdan.
I get confused because there's a musician called Louis Jordan who I really liked when I was growing up. Yeah, he did all of the songs in Five Guys Named Mo, if you ever saw that musical. He's the godfather of rock and roll. Favorite Muppets? Gonzo, 100%.
Fozzie.
Yeah, I had a cat called Gonzo. Yeah, Gonzo, love him, 100%. BR Final Cut is a masterpiece. Is that Battle Royale?
I suspect Blade Runner, since we were talking about it.
That's yes. Peter Jackson's King Kong, still the worst film you've ever seen.
Still the one that pisses me off the most.
There you go.
The one that.
Have you watched both versions of The Crazies?
No.
I have. A long time ago, I watched the Romero one and I watched the new one. I don't really remember much of either of them. I remember the Romero one
that much in common,
being a little bit darker in its ending. Because basically, it's kind of like a zombie one. People are getting infected, and a scientist. I'm ruining the ending, so shut your ears if you don't want to know what happens.
If a number of people watching suddenly just nosedives.
The scientist finds a cure, and as he's going to take it, he gets trampled on by people fleeing, and it gets destroyed. So yeah, usual sort of Romero tragedy stuff.
Victory.
But yeah, I mean,
defeat snatched from the jaws of victory.
Probably both films are worth a review at some point. Did you watch Severance? No, it's an Apple show. It's on my list. I'm probably going to wait to get Apple until Vince Gilligan's series drops on there, and then I will get Apple.
Okay,
that's.
I'm not getting any more streaming services. I'm done.
Yeah, I want to just dip in there and then dip back out again.
There's an interesting one. The horror films of Michael Curtiz would make a great special.
Funny you should
say that.
Mention that. Well, yes.
I think they're upstairs in my bag now, but
yes.
we haven't got all of them.
I can't remember what.
I think we can get the. Yeah, you someone will be able to tell us. We can't remember the name of.
So we've got Dr.
Wax
X
Museum and the Dr. X
Wax Museum. We're kind of throwing Noah's Ark in there just for the sheer violence of it. Well, there's a good copy on YouTube, so that always helps. But there's what other horrors?
What's the other one he did with Faye Ray? Somebody will tell me.
Oh, there we go. That was it. What about Haxan? We've done Haxan in a streaming.
Yes.
We
looked at doing Haxan as a special a few years ago, and it just doesn't really lend itself to that because it doesn't have a plot as such.
Yes.
And it's so mad. I think it's not one that benefits from taking it apart and analyzing it. It's one that benefits from watching it. Yeah. Just watch it, and it's whatever you take from it.
They're not my movie. Karloff did an episode of a TV series. Route 66 also had him teamed up with Lon Chaney Jr., Peter Lorre.
He did a lot of TV.
Yeah. Have you seen the William Friedkin interview with Fritz Lang? No, I haven't.
I don't think so. No.
That would be interesting.
Seems like two strong personalities going at each other.
I'd like to see
Friedkin back down to nobody.
I just ordered a book, A to Z, of So Bad They're Good. This comes from a YouTube member. And Ugly Films by Beverly Price. I'm excited to check it out. Well, yes, send us recommendations from the book. We're always looking for movies from members. Speaking of books you can buy.
Oh, yeah. No, sorry, I was miles away. Here's the Dark Corners horror movie quiz book. Great book. Fantastic questions. Do you want to find a question to pose? While I say, just running through my various books. That's the most recent one, Legacy of Frankenstein. Wolf, I can never get the title right. The Wolf, the Raven, and the Black Cat, which is sort of a Poe-inspired one, but also obviously the Universal films. Golem of 2020. Vengeance of the Invisible Man. The Werewolf of Priory Grange. The Mummy's Quest. And The Immortal Dracula, which is probably my favorite, I think.
Okay, so this comes from, so basically there is how many sections? 150? 50
sections.
50 sections, 10 questions in each section.
500 questions total, for those who can't do maths.
There you go. So this comes from the section Bela Lugosi's Evil Plans. So what we've got here is his evil plan, and you have to say what movie it's from.
Yeah.
Okay, in this movie, Bela Lugosi endeavors to keep his wife young by extracting the fluids from the necks of abducted virgins and injecting them into his wife.
Ooh, I'm not sure I remember the title of that.
So there you go.
I know the film, but I can't remember the title of it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I can't. I'm going to wait till the answer will be in there. I know one of the words in the title.
Yeah, me too. No, I'm guessing it's the same one.
Yes. The. Sorry, Lost was taken down. If it's any consolation, convinced me to seek out the old Eureka Blu-ray on eBay. Congratulations. Yeah, no.
Universal's getting money. Oh, no, it's on eBay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Do not buy Island of Lost Souls. You're just giving money to Universal.
Well, but I also I don't know if Universal do make money from you buying the discs because they've licensed it to Eureka in the UK. It's now been discontinued, and Criterion.
Oh, right.
So it's been licensed out. So they probably don't make any money from it. So feel free to buy it.
Buy it anyway because it's a great film.
Or, do you know what?
You should see it.
Go BitTorrent it. Pirate that shit. That's what I say. Company of Wolves. What are your thoughts on that? Because that's one I'd like to do.
I think we should do it for streaming. Yeah, I do.
That's one as a kid. I think that's one of the first horrors I sort of remember seeing on TV that I'd taped it.
Metropolis has turned 100 years old this year. Has it?
No.
Gosh,
we might have our pick for.
That's what I thought. 27. No, it hasn't quite. It's turned 98 this year.
Got a few more years left in her.
It is crazy that all these films I watch are now over 100 years old.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Even with Island Lost, like it's like 2 years out of falling out of copyright.
Yeah. They could have. Can't believe that. Can't believe it.
Okay. Oops.
And they've all jumped away again. We're running a little behind, just for a change.
Not as far as normal. People have learned don't ask questions until they dry up a little bit. So you are suggesting that white sharks come from a bunch of seas? Yes. You go rewind back.
Okay.
Jaws. We're not going to review it because Universal was a bunch of seas.
Ah, right.
Jaws is
Okay.
Death Race 2000 or Alice, Sweet Alice. two films with.
It's not exactly Sophie's Choice. What the hell is that? There must be something those films have in common that I'm missing. I cut my hair earlier this week, and I'm noticing I haven't done the best job of it. It notices more. At the time, it looked fine.
Okay. There's a box set, which I think I pointed out to you, of Hitchcock's early years box sets.
Yes.
Which of those 9 should somebody watch first?
First? Oh, gosh. That so much depends on the person. I had so many different questions in mind. If you like silent film, if you're familiar with silent film, start with The Ring then, because that's an absolutely magnificent one. It really is. And one that it shows a completely different side of Hitchcock, and I don't think it gets the publicity it deserves. If you're not so comfortable with silent film, because not everybody is, and that's fine, it takes a little getting used to, then maybe Blackmail is a good one. The talkie version of that. That's a really good, and that's a proper Hitchcock film, I suppose, in that respect. It's far more familiar territory. Yeah. I'll go with those.
Cool. Have we seen Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things? We have.
We've reviewed it.
Is that the one from the director?
Just yanked on that.
Is that the one from the director of Black Christmas, or is it the Bert I. Gordon one?
It's not Bert I. Gordon.
Then it's from the director of Black Christmas. Is the guy
really?
It's the guy with the stripy pants, isn't it? Yes. Yeah. So another recommendation for Night of the Hunter, a George A. Romero retrospective. Yes, that's probably something we'll get to. Please yell at my mum saying, "Bloody hell, Kathy, don't miss any more doc appointments."
Bloody hell, Kathy, don't miss any more doc appointments.
He said, "Please yell."
I don't want to yell at someone I don't know. That seems very rude.
can say Daniel's mum.
that won't make a great deal of difference.
Sorry, he can't do it. He's too nice. Gonna do a service. What do you think of CGI?
When it's well used,
I love it. And like all things, it can be good and it can be bad. We were just watching Canon's Hercules, and there is a ton of bad stop motion in there.
Yep.
But just because it's stop motion or oldie worldy effects does not make them good.
True. But and just because it's CGI and new worldy effects doesn't make it good either.
Yeah. So it's ultimately
all down to how you use it.
Yes. In sort of real world application, I always think like a blending of practical effects enhanced by CGI works best.
Yeah. There's a sort of an overuse thing. We were talking earlier today about Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and whether or not, if it was made today, would they still use Petra as the place where they find the Holy Grail? And we thought more likely they would create some CGI edifice.
Yeah.
And it would probably be rubbish compared to Petra.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you sort of know what Petra is.
Yeah.
So there's sort of swings and roundabouts. But if the happy medium that probably wouldn't happen is to create something believable out of CGI.
Yes.
But for some reason, whenever people set out to create something believable out of CGI, they always just think, oh, I could do this and I could do this, and they always go too far. It always becomes impossible. Or it's like something like the first Planet of the Apes film. And this is not the first Planet of the Apes film, the first of the reboots, the first one with Caesar.
Yes.
I think this is a good film, and they've gone to a lot of trouble to do it as well as they possibly could with the technology of the time, which has consistently got better. And then they have things, when the apes break out, they all jump out of like a second or third story window to the ground, and then they're pushing helicopters around. And you think, you couldn't resist making them superhuman.
Yeah.
Or super ape, I suppose. And having gone to all that trouble to make them photorealistic, they then make their behavior unrealistic. And that's the real problem with CGI. It's not the technology, it's the people behind it. Done.
Yeah, that's good. Good answer.
Every now and then it happens.
A review of the Fu Manchu Christopher Lee movies would be awesome.
I think it would be repetitive, wouldn't it?
Yeah. There is a box set out there. It's just, it's not. The problem is they're not great. We've reviewed one of them for regular Dark Corners. Robin's dying. Take some more. Wow, you've down two ciders.
I haven't finished the second one.
Okay. Probably not.
I think probably not, isn't it? Yeah.
Colleen suggested maybe a new T-shirt with Robin says maybe. Enema M Racing says, I was going to watch your recent DC Classics video. What happened? Universal blocked it worldwide. If you go back to the start of this, after this finishes, you can
hear us ranting about it for
if you desperately want to see it, you can become a YouTube member or a Patreon member. If you're prepared to wait, we're gonna try and make edits to get it back out there.
We can promise nothing, I'm afraid.
Yes. Review of Heretic with Hugh Grant, which you haven't seen.
I haven't seen.
It was all right. I don't think they stuck the landing, but Hugh Grant was great. He's got a nice sort of creepiness to him.
He's having a great late career as Hugh Grant.
I'm liking the Hugh Renaissance.
Nice variety. I mean, he's been a great comic bad guy in some stuff, but also a genuine bad guy.
It's really that in that film, he's just genuinely nice, but creepy at the same time. Like, you just know something's off with him, even though he's really nice and he's open and sort of giving them the options, but you kind of know that what he's saying isn't true. That is a great performance by him, but the film set doesn't stick the landing. Dark Crystal Age of Renaissance improved significantly throughout the show. welcome from Germany.
Thank you for your appreciation, someone from Germany. I can't quite read from here because I'm short-sighted.
Animal is my favourite Muppet. Animal is another great Muppet. Lorna, another YouTube member. A Fu Manchu review would be great. Wow, might have to listen to the members. Let's put a price on it. How much to do a Fu Manchu?
Clearly, nobody wanted Megapolis, by the way.
I know. So you can start shifting your funds from Megapolis to a Fu Manchu thing. That's 5 films. So that's
what are we talking about here, though? I mean, a Fu Manchu what?
Retrospective.
So a proper. Ooh.
It's like
I'm not sure you can put a price on that.
$250.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, because that's just going to be a video that's going to tank. I'm not sure that's quite a lot of time. So I think the price on that would have to be quite high.
2025 films worse than Snow White.
I haven't seen Snow White.
I'm sure there's lots of them. Dr. X, we do know, so we're still looking for the other one. Thoughts on yet another Texas Chainsaw reboot? If you do it well, fine, but I'm going to guess they don't. Favorite Cronenberg movie?
Oh,
The Fly.
Yeah.
The Fly.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Got you.
I've got a soft spot for Existence.
Mm-hmm. Deathbed or Killer Sofa? I didn't know there was.
I haven't seen Killer Sofa. Good grief.
Deathbed was the first video that we did that did better than the others.
It felt huge at the time.
That is what of our time doing this. Deathbed did almost 100 views overnight.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my god, because at that point the views, we were doing like 30 views a week.
Yeah.
So the fact that it did like almost 100 overnight was amazing. And sometimes, now we tend to do maybe for a regular review 10,000 in the first 24 hours. To have something do 100 was amazing. And
it's good to occasionally be reminded of how far you've come.
Sometimes we forget how far and all of the opportunities that this has given us. And
the fact that there's 135 people sitting, apparently watching us do this.
Yeah, and so it's all very humbling and great.
Yes,
so, thank you. Joker. Okay. Dr. Doom. Oh no, there was a donation. I've got to deal with that first. Fu Manchu. We're up to $20 for Fu Manchu. Only another 130 to go.
Did we say? I thought you said 200.
Oh, so 200. 230.
230 to go. Feels relatively safe. It feels like I'm just taking somebody's money at some point.
Are you writing any more books?
Yes, I'm writing the next in the Universal Library series. I'm sort of taking notes on at the moment. I'll probably write that over summer. And I'm just starting my 3rd year on a different sort of book, very different to the ones I've done before. And it's just taking a lot of research and a lot of work. And but I do love it. It's one that I can still actually go back and read and enjoy, which after so long is kind of a miracle. So I think at the end of it, I'm sort of like following that thing that someone said that, if the book that you want to read doesn't exist, then you have to write it. And if nobody else likes this book, I will like it. It'll be the book that I most want to read. Mm-hmm. So I can take some comfort in that when it tanks. But so that's still at least a year away, I guess.
Lord Devilfish asks, Universal or Toho, who's worse? Universal 100%. We've reviewed a lot of Toho films, and we've not had any issues. Touch wood. So they've not minded the many Godzilla ones we've done,
and theirs we're making fun of.
And it's true. I do hear that Toho are pretty strict, so they've not been an issue. Universal though, bunch of C's. Patreon supporter. Will Island of Lost shows? Yes, it is. It's already up. If it's not, I apologize. I normally post it straight away. Let me me check it out.
Science Advisor is clocking off and has said Boris Karloff is the best Fu Manchu and Miss Piggy is the best Muppet.
There you go.
There you go. That's
apologies. Yes, I just checked. It's not up on Patreon. I will post it as soon as we've done this live stream. Sliviths. Have you heard of that? Is that the Sliviths?
They're aren't they?
Oh, I was thinking of Sliver with the one.
I thought they were an alien in Doctor Who, in the sort of the new Who. It's possible we haven't.
I've seen Slivers. What's the?
I've seen Slivers. Okay.
What's the one from? Oh, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's Slither.
That is Sliver. Okay. Slivers movie 78, Spawn of the Slivers. Oh, that looks good. That might be on the list. I've just seen a picture. It seems to be suitable. So yes to that. Mate screening. Poltergeist Clown or Killer Clown. Killer Clown with K for clown, as in Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I've not seen either.
You've seen Poltergeist though.
I've seen
Yeah, there's a clown in Poltergeist that grabs the boy, pulls him under the bed. The clown from Poltergeist. I'll answer that one. Did you know the poster for Jaws is not a great white shark, but a blue shark?
No, I didn't know that.
Now you learn.
Would you give a painting?
Would you give Dark City a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
I'd give it a personal thumbs up, but it's one of those films you wouldn't necessarily recommend to other people. I think because it feels like it's gonna either work for you or not.
Arrow is just releasing a new 4K version of that coming very soon. Maybe it's worth review. It's one of the first films I remember buying on DVD. In fact, have you reviewed Hardware?
No.
Nope. Woman in the Yard, truly terrifying. This is a film that seems to have come into the cinema and gone in a week, so I didn't get to see it. And I'll go.
I wanted to ask if it was an unofficial sequel to The Lady in the Van.
Yes, could be.
It sounds like the same deal. Basically.
It is a ghost, and she is dead now, so maybe.
Dame Maggie Smith still knocking it out of the park from beyond.
Yes, but I'll go see any crap at the cinema, so it did not last there long enough for me to see it. Danger Diabolique or Planet of the Vampires?
Danger Diabolic.
Which we've reviewed.
We have.
The Apple or Southland Tales?
Worst. This is which one is worst?
Yes, it does say worst, yes.
I would probably go with The Apple.
Mm-hmm.
I think the music probably kicks it over the edge. And the ending. So I don't think Southland Tales was such a disappointment after Donnie Darko.
I think
capital example of.
I think The Apple is ripe for a Rocky Horror kind of.
I think you're forgetting how
participation
bad it
thing it is. I think it's an underrated cult classic, is what I think.
You think it's an actual cult classic?
I do.
When your light isn't quite long enough to scan, just repeat one word.
Broken Arrow, Western or action movie? There's two of them. So there's
I see.
There's a Western, and then there's the one with
the Jimmy Stewart Western. Is this?
Yep, and then the action movie is Christian Slater and Danny from Greece.
Okay,
whatever his name is.
I'll go with the West. I like Jimmy Stewart.
Joseph says, Fu Manchu movies will hurt you. Don't.
Well, he's a Patreon. I've got to go with that.
Martial arts legend Richard Norton died. God, this is like
everybody died recently.
Would you consider reviewing 80s Hong Kong oddity Magic Crystal?
I mean, there's a lot of magic words in there with 80s Hong Kong oddity.
Yes. We should.
We haven't done a single film with Cynthia Rothrock.
That's true.
Maybe.
Mhm. Hello again. How are you guys?
I'm all right.
Good.
I mean, it's not been a good day, if we're honest.
Brendan Fraser mummy movies might make a special. No,
Maybe for
because
somebody,
but Universal, bunch of C's.
yeah.
Have you seen the Planet of the Apes live action TV series?
Yes.
You have? Okay.
Yeah.
Any good?
No. No, it was just the same. It was week after week of just the same story.
Where does it fit canonically in the?
Hard to.
Or is it just kind of its own thing?
It's no. It's very. I mean, Roddy McDowall's in it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if he's playing the same character or just someone who is absolutely indistinguishable from that character.
Right.
It's just two astronauts stranded in the Planet of the Apes, and it just and they're sort of like on the run with one ape, and just every week they'll find someone who either helps them or doesn't help them. It's just not very good. It's too repetitive.
Cool. I've not seen any of these recent horror sequels: Leprechaun Return, Jeepers Creepers Reborn, or Critters Attack. So sorry. Are there films that are too scary? I can't imagine that there is.
There's films that are too scary for individuals. There's certainly films that are too scary for me. You have to exercise self-censorship in what you watch.
Boris Johnson was a spectacular Muppet.
I sort of hate that co-opting of what I consider a very happy word and term.
Have you seen a good vampire film in the last few years?
Well, yeah, but they were all made a long time before I've watched them. I noticed that, and this is, from what I understand, not a good vampire film, but The Voyage of the Demeter is now available for free. And I'm just wondering about doing it it's not even worth doing as a streaming review.
I don't think you're going to like it.
I'm sure I'm not, but...
particularly the ending is stupid.
Okay.
Maybe, I think you get...
Nick Cage's Dracula, Renfield's up as well.
Yes.
Whether we do both.
It was okay.
I don't think there's any answer to the question. I can't think of a new vampire film that I've really thought, oh, that was great.
What are your thoughts on Peter Cushing's Doctor Who films?
It's not Doctor Who is the problem.
Yeah.
And the fact is, they're both remakes of the TV series, and I think the TV series is better for one thing because it is exactly what it is. Whereas they try to change Doctor Who from being an alien to being just a scientist.
Friendly uncle.
Yeah, it's just... No.
Do you think they should remake any of the Doctor Who serials?
No.
What about some of the lost ones?
Oh, well, that's an interesting question. I like the... I mean, they do the animated ones when they have... But only when the soundtracks still exist. And they're good. The quality of the animation varies enormously because they're all done by different people. I like the idea of, farming it out to different animation studios, but it does mean that they're a mixed bag in terms of how they look. Some of them are great and some of them are not. I mean, if you're not going to see them any other way, then I suppose remaking them is a way to do it. I think I'd rather sort of keep them animated.
Yeah.
And then just get in voice actors.
Okay. Have you seen the new Wallace and Gromit film, Vengeance Most Foul?
Yes, loved it.
Lars von Trier's Element of Crime? ?
I've not seen it.
Matthew Stewart, my copy of Dark Corners Trivia arrives Thursday. Cheers, fellows.
Thank you.
God, I hope you enjoy it. You say it sold pretty well, yeah?
It sold really, really well in the run-up to Christmas, and then somewhat predictably... It's interesting because my books tend to sort of bump up to Christmas and then they go back to sort of average sales. Yeah. This really did well before Christmas and then flatlined.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. So it's very much a gift is what we have learned.
That's it. Okay.
So that's, I think, not unexpected. But
has it done well enough to warrant a sequel?
Probably not so far. I mean, because we spent some money getting it done, I think it's more or less wiped its face at the moment. So I don't think it's at the moment, it has not sold in large enough numbers to warrant that level of work.
Okay.
I'm glad it's there and hopefully more people will buy it and find it. Yeah. But at the moment, no.
Cool. Oh, by the way, no one's yet posted the answer to that question.
Am I imagining that there was a third film that Michael Curtiz directed with Fay Wray?
Oh, and also the Bela Lugosi one.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Shall I look up what the answer is?
No, let the audience find it.
Okay.
I still think your review of Night of the Lepers is YouTube gold.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe
Gosh,
we should
that was some years ago.
That was about 15 years ago when we first started back then. Maybe we should look at redoing some of those early ones.
I suppose. Maybe they hold up fine. I think we could probably do them better.
Yes. Good night, Science Advisor. Creature of the Black Lagoon retrospective? Nope, because Universal, bunch of C's.
Now at least we have an answer for that repeated question rather than just saying we'll get to it. We're probably not going to get to it.
Thoughts on 1988's The Blob?
I don't know if I've ever seen 1988's The Blob. I've seen the original, but I don't think I saw the remake.
Okay. Eureka is releasing a box set of German crimi films.
Oh.
Have you done any of that genre?
No.
Tell me more, but I don't know what this is. And you had a sound of recognition.
I recognise the term. It's not something it's not a genre I'm familiar with at all. It's not really us. It's a sort of, as I understand it, it's sort of German noir.
We're back.
Oh, are we just in some sort of YouTube jail at the moment?
Okay, hopefully we're all good. Don't know what happened there.
Holy shit.
Yeah, there's still 114 people there. They didn't all vanish when...
Well, you said they didn't all, but they dropped in pretty spectacular numbers. The hell with it, they're not coming back. We were only gone for like 10 seconds. We lost like 30 people.
The editors salvaged Donnie Darko. Yeah, there's a director's cut of Donnie Darko, which is not as good. Yeah, he came out. Sometimes like directors, they like come out with their first film and really fucking nail it.
Good idea.
And then he's never been able to reach that success again. Southland Tales, the idea of it was he had such big ideas for it. It was like cross media and stuff. It just didn't work.
Yeah, no. And since then, it's all a bit uninspired, unfortunately.
Will we ever review the Birdemic sequels? Probably not.
I think they're too knowing.
Well, it's funny. In a way, they're knowing. Like the cast knows, but the director apparently doesn't.
Really?
Yes. The director still thinks he's making great cinema.
Wow.
My
understanding was that the actress knows and the actor doesn't. Or
yeah, but the actress went back and did one of the sequels.
Yeah.
And in the interview that I saw, she was like very clear. He thinks he's making great films. She knows.
The thing is, nobody in that is coming away under any glory, but she was fine. He was fucking awful.
Yeah. Would you review the original Crow? Probably not.
For streaming? Why not?
I don't think it's that good.
I think if you go back and rewatch it, then you might think it would feel differently.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's not. It's only because of the sad demise of.
Maybe we should look at it for that reason, just to see is it just memory and
kind of
nostalgia?
The window passed because they did the remake last year.
Yeah, that I couldn't believe how bad the trailer looked. I thought it was a spoof to start with, so I didn't see that.
Favorite Twilight Zone episode?
I really haven't watched enough Twilight Zone. Have any useful opinion?
I'm across the pond. Did you guys enjoy Monty Python?
Yeah.
The Goodies, the young ones, or Blackadder growing up?
First and fourth. Monty Python, yes. The Goodies, never really watched. The young ones, yeah. Love Blackadder.
Yes, I agree with that. Monty Python and the Holy Grail is coming back to the cinemas for its 50th anniversary this year. I just saw that. I don't know if I'll go to see it.
The first half of that film, especially, is just as funny as cinema gets.
That's it. So I'm kind of curious to actually see it. It's a long time since I watched it, so I'd be curious to see it in the cinema and what the audience sort of brings to it. Fright Night. or Lost Boys.
Lost Boys.
Yes, I saw Lost Boys at Prince Charles with Bill or Ted, whichever one is it is, doing like
Bill,
an
isn't
intro
it?
for it. Yeah, and
Unless they went really, really meta with who was introducing it.
and it was really good.
Alex Winter.
That's it. You're dead right. He did like a intro to it and a Q&A, and it was great. John Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13 or the remake?
Oh, John Carpenter's one, I think. I've seen that on the big screen. On the very, very on the IMAX in Bristol.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Only most of it. I had to get a train, but and so I ended up watching the rest at home.
Rodan, will that get a video? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
not impossible.
No.
I like Nosferatu and the one with the girl that's a vampire. The young girl with the vampire, which I did like more than Nosferatu. She's like a little girl. Nosferatu remake.
Nosferatu remake
is one film,
right?
And then there's the one with the little girl who's a vampire, where she's like a little kid ballet dancing and killing people.
Oh,
Abigail.
Yeah.
Yes, I enjoyed Abigail far more than Nosferatu. And you did not like Nosferatu.
I did not. But I thought it was funny.
Have you seen the new version of Danger Diabolique?
No, I understand there's like a trilogy.
Ooh. Okay. Top 10 horror film character demises.
No.
Skip that. Just watch our top 10 Christopher Lee deaths, because it's about 50 of them. Buffering, we're back in. Frozen Dream, we're back. Voodoo Man, there we go. Somebody's finally answered the question.
Voodoo Man.
Who would you cast as the next Bond?
I don't bloody. I genuinely don't know.
Okay.
All we know is that it ought to be done in period.
Yes. How do you feel about the fact that now Amazon is taking the lead on it? So I've got kind of mixed feelings, because there's one aspect of it which is like, oh, it's really sad that it's moving away from the Broccolis who controlled it. But then I don't necessarily think they've made great decisions all the time.
No.
And so maybe, and especially as like, you know, they're so much older now, maybe younger, fresher blood might bring something to it.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't know if they'll bring something to it that I like. And I do think that it'll end up being franchised, and that's always a.
And it's I
don't know if I want to see the Young Q series or
the Queer Q Chronicles,
whatever. I just want them to do a good James Bond movie every few years. That's all.
Well, the way I was chatting to my friend about with a lot of these things, like the new Star Wars TV series and things, which I've not, as a big Star Wars fan, I've just not watched them. It's just not for me anymore.
Yeah,
like that's past. This isn't being made for me, and that's fine.
I think that's a healthy way to look at it.
Let it be what it is. They're not trying to appeal to me.
No, I guess it's just weird how culture seemed to come to a crashing halt at the start of the 80s, and no one's had any original ideas since then. And that's an exaggeration, but everything seems to be a reboot of this and a reclaiming of that. And it means, and yes, it's moving past fans of our age, and that's fine, that's allowed. But you know, part of me does just think, well, come up with your own bloody thing. That's what we did.
But at the same time, like, Bond's been around since the 60s, so it's not, you know.
But it's not being I mean, okay, maybe it has been reinvented with each. But
also, this will be the first time that there is a James Bond who is younger than us when we first watched the film. And I think that also makes a difference. Because, like, you know, James Bond was like something, you look up to.
I know what you mean. I mean,
to
I never
that.
really got used to the idea that Doctor Who could be younger than me.
Yeah. Occasionally he's not though. So
Occasionally he's not. I've always preferred an older Doctor Who. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, the point remains. But I guess it's that thing that that movies made in the to someone now, then movies made in the 80s are like movies made in the 40s would be to people of our age.
Yes.
And you know, it's not like I'm waiting for Amazon to franchise Casablanca. You know, we had our own culture. Come on, I just think generally it's healthier to have original ideas. I don't object exactly to reimaginings of stuff, but and I say this as someone who's done a whole series of horror novels based on other people's ideas, but
I think
I've got my own as well. It's just nobody buys those.
It does feel that culture's eating itself at a more rapid pace all the time.
It's because of the sheer amount of money that's being put into it. You cannot afford to lose. And if you trade off of this, we're sitting here saying how dreadful. I'm sitting here mostly saying how dreadful it would be to see James Bond devolve into a series of little shows. That doesn't mean I won't end up watching them, and that's what they're relying on, that you will continue to watch these shows even if you really think they shouldn't exist and they'll probably be shit. You'll still watch them.
I don't have time to watch stuff that I'm not liking, so
that's rubbish. You go and see every Marvel movie.
That's true I do watch.
You've watched
I mean on
the
TV
list of films
on TV. It's because I've got some Cinema Unlimited, so I'm like, if I don't go watch like 8 films a month, I feel like I feel I'm being ripped off.
Well, I feel sort of like the same way. If I've got a streaming service, if I'm not watching something on it, then you're just like, well, what am I spending the money on?
Yeah,
I mean, in fairness, mostly Dark Corners reviews these days. The number of bad movies Amazon has uploaded, it's become a little gold mine for us.
We've not even touched on Tubi. You need to have a look on Tubi.
Should do, really,
because there's a lot on there.
I'll do that next month. Tubi next month. Tubi or not?
Tubi,
no, I'm going to leave that.
That's a nice one. Director cuts. Yeah. What makes a great villain?
I think there's a sort of there's like a tipping point where you want a villain whose character, who's not just sort of like evil and nothing else, who's not a cackling stereotype, but when they go too far into the backstory and start start trying to delve into their psychology or making them too sympathetic as bad guys, then they lose interest. They cease of it. So Hannibal Lecter's a great bad guy. He is very definitely a character.
Yeah.
But there's not really an attempt to make him a sympathetic character in any way. It's when they start when you get the origin stories for bad guys, you just think, no, I don't want to know that. Yeah. Dr. Moreau is another good example. It's I can only really think of the things I've seen recently. But yeah, just a character who you understand completely what his motivations are. They just come from someone who is, in a very literal sense, a psychopath. He doesn't have any sense of other people. And a sociopath, so he doesn't, and there are people who are like that. So you know enough about him for him to be believable. He's not just a cackling stereotype of a mad scientist, but he is also not someone who they are trying to make you understand him or empathize with where he's coming from. So I think it's walking that line. That's what makes a good bad guy for me. Very long answer.
That's good. It's good. So if you could go through the Bond films, who would you say is the best Bond bad guy?
That's a big old question. Who's the best bad guy within that? I don't know.
Just say the first one you remember.
No,
you got Dr. No, then you've got Grant in From Russia with Love is good because he's just basically a hired assassin.
Yeah,
you don't have too much detail, but he's pretty deadly.
I think Auric Goldfinger's a good bad guy. I sort of believe in him. There's
he just wants to be rich.
Yeah, he is just he is the apex of capitalism. And he has a sense of humor.
Okay,
there's no Mr. Bond. I expect you to. The funniest line in any James Bond film ever, arguably, is given to the bad guy.
Yeah.
I do like Christopher Lee in Man with the Golden Gun. just as that sort of someone who is just focused on this is the thing I am great at. Someone who, and I can see where that character is coming from.
But he also has a
I was going to say
laser gun.
Yeah. But so the plot I feel is wrong for him, but
Yes.
the character,
Yeah,
I think is spot on.
yeah. It would have been better if like they found out that he had been hired to kill people, a certain selection of people, and Bond had to hunt him down. Yeah, rather than him having a laser.
Yes. He shouldn't have been the one doing that. He should have been hired by someone who they could still have that plot, but he would need to have an employer.
Right, what have we got here? Abigail. Favorite 80s horror franchise?
Yeah. Got a favorite 80s horror franchise? Ghostbusters. Gremlins. This probably reflects how old I was in the 80s.
How do you feel about Sherlock Lovecraft crossover pastiche?
I have no interest whatsoever. I'm a Sherlock Holmes purist.
Where is Last Voyage of the Demeter available? Amazon.
I think it was Amazon.
Okay.
It's either Amazon or Netflix. I think it's Amazon.
Casablanca 2, A Beautiful Friendship. How did you feel about the Endless Child storyline from Doctor Who?
Not happy.
They could do a young James Bond series.
I'm sure that's on the cards. They won't base it on the books, though.
And there's one. We'll pretend Hannibal Rising didn't happen.
Yes, I think that's very sensible.
2B currently has space monster Wagamagawi from South Korea. It's different. Wolfman works on it. I'm trying to get focus. Big Letdown, A View to a Kill, Christopher Walken, such an underwhelming villain. There's a point in that which is like his plan is to flood Silicon Valley to raise the price of microchips, but microchips aren't made in Silicon Valley. Like his plan doesn't make any sense. There's also a bit at the beginning of A View to a Kill that says Zorin is a fictional character not to be associated by any other Zorin, because apparently I think there was like a Zorin who was like a jeweler or something like that that got flagged up.
Still better than the plot of Question of Sport. I hate that one. It is just the something to do with water. Quantum of Solace, sorry.
Oh, right. Okay.
I still always call it Question of Sport. And about halfway through, there's just sort of a very half-hearted acknowledgement that we should probably have a plot at some point. And just go, he's doing something with water.
Cool. All right. We're getting late and we got to shoot again tomorrow.
And I've been up since 4.
We're going to be wrapping up shortly. So get your final questions in. I think they should be making Bond. They should remake the books, period. Keep them as edgy as the books.
Okay.
And yeah.
I mean, you say keep them as edgy as the books. The books are problematic in a number of ways.
I'm fine with that. I kind of feel like, let's not make him such a enviable character. Let's make him a bit dark.
I don't mind him being. Well, this is there's the difference that there's you can have a character who has problematic traits. On the other hand, when the world treats people, it's like Ian Fleming's treatment of gay people is you don't want I don't think that's a good idea. If Bond is homophobic, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if the world is homophobic,
the plots are homophobic, that's true.
There is the one, and I don't know. I've never read the books myself, but this is a QI fact. But there's Ian Fleming believed that gay people couldn't whistle, and that's like a key plot point in a Bond book.
That seems like the one thing gay people could do.
The one thing that gay people could do. Boy, like you're revealing your true allegiance.
If there was a list of things that gay people could do, I would put whistling near the top. Uh, I've not seen any of the Lost Boys sequels.
No, neither have I.
Favorite werewolf movie?
Fine, The Wolfman.
Best Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing team up. Film that they're both in.
Yeah, I got
I didn't
that.
want to like they're both on the same side.
Oh right, okay, fair enough.
No.
Dracula.
But you prefer Frankenstein.
I do, but I don't feel like that. If you were looking for ones that they are them together in,
okay,
then just the last 5 minutes of Dracula, that's them at their best.
Casey says I'm gay and I can't whistle, so maybe there's
that's specious reasoning.
All right,
that's like me saying I'm 47 and I can't drive, so people who are 47 can't drive,
or they're gay,
and I can whistle.
Cool. Do you think Doctor Who will get cancelled after the next series? Hell no. They're going to keep BBC. It makes so much money from that. They're going to keep it going.
There's all the things about people say, oh, it's dying and all this, and it's not. It gets huge ratings.
It's infinitely rebootable. Horror Express, somebody said, is another.
That's a great film. That's a great film.
Cool. All right, we're going to call it there. It's late. Thank you all very much. Yes, do join us on Patreon or members.
And you can still watch.
There's lots of bonus stuff up there. Buy the books, buy the t-shirts.
Yeah.
But most of all, thank you everyone for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
And the awkward bit while we close down the stream. It is